Hey, all, how we doing?
Good morning, friends.
Joe here.
And Kevin.
Okay, so I think there's a little flub in the continuity in West Wing. So the last episode, which I loved, and
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. Yeah.
we had a really good conversation about that.
Yeah.
A character says that takes place in February, and we just checked the title for this one. This is the inauguration episode.
Right.
So don't know why they did it this way, unless it was just messed up and that's how they ran it on TV, or if it's a Max thing. Not sure what's going on there, but either way,
Probably a continuity error, we might guess, and that the writer was like, "This will air, this will be
after,
this will be filmed and set after."
Here.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. They just it's like, no, we'll do this time,
which is fine. We like Tarantino, non-linear, no big deal.
It's a small issue, obviously, especially since that last episode was so standalone anyway.
It was,
that I feel like it could have almost fit anywhere.
Yeah,
and depending on how much they're dealing with the issue that CJ was rushing back for the threat that she was, unless that's a thing moving forward, and that's where it was introduced. But other than that, it was very much a standalone episode. So I'm not overly concerned.
I do want to shout out Alice and Janney. Janny. Why do I always say Janny? I don't know. It's just one of those things. But Alice and Janney, I do want to shout her out. She's one of the best actresses of her generation.
Yeah, she's great. She's so good in this role.
Just a fantastic actress.
Sure.
And my roommate actually is a huge West Wing fan, and he's also telling us to watch the pod, listen to the podcast they do, which we will wait till after the show's over.
Yeah, the reason, guys, that we don't want to do the pod now is I know someone said they talk about an individual episode.
Yes,
but I guarantee I would put money that somebody in the Casual Conversation podcast is going to reference other episodes we haven't seen yet, and other storylines we haven't seen yet.
Josh Molina is one of the hosts of the podcast,
right? And so I don't want any spoilers. From that.
He's told me that Sorkin goes on the pod, Richard Schiff goes on a couple times, and basically he said that when Aaron Sorkin is on, nobody wanted to cast Alice Janney in anything, and that West Wing was kind of her big break.
Yeah. She's great.
I can't imagine a world without Allison. Janney,
yes. There's two ends. There's two ends. Janney.
It's like Pam.
Right. Yeah.
But I can't imagine a world without her, because she's a fantastic actress, and honestly, wish she was in everything.
Yeah, no, she's great. She still works, obviously, a lot.
She's got an
now.
Oscar, right?
Yeah,
I Tanya.
Yeah, she works a lot, which is great, because she should, because she's amazing.
She's great.
All right, we do want to go ahead and welcome Stephen Baum, Dylan Hartz, Rebel Pilot, and Jordan Chance to our Patreon groups. Thank you so much, guys. We are very, very pleased to have you here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you don't mind, hit the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
Yeah, if you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. On all shows we're watching, including The West Wing, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. So if you want to keep going after watching this on YouTube, that's the place to do it. You will have to sync and watch along on your own device or streaming service. You will only see and hear us for copyright purposes.
Yes.
All right. We're also watching 30 Rock right now, by the way. It's a Patreon.
It's back.
Yeah.
So since this is a 2-parter, I'm assuming something goes wrong.
Right. Yeah.
It's not smooth sailing.
Or it's just a big day because it's the inauguration.
Sure.
A lot goes on. Yeah.
It's an inauguration ball. Let's enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
Thanks,
party.
ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing bad, sir.
Game on, sir.
So if they're going to 8 balls, that means Abby Bartlett has to change clothes 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yes, sir. I don't have a Bible. What do you mean? I kept changing my mind all week on which Bible I wanted to use.
You know, there's nothing that says you have to be sworn in on a Bible.
Is that true?
You can be sworn in on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
So go to a bookstore, man.
Yeah. Any hotel ever.
Go to a Walmart.
There's a rumor that the president's contemplating a new doctrine for the use of force.
President's nothing if not contemplative, Senator.
Sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Donnie's Motel?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
The Chief Justice wrote a dissenting opinion in C. Northern v. Arizona. He wrote a dissenting opinion in what I'm almost certain is trochaic tetrameter.
Like poetry.
You're going to meet with my counterpart, the State Department Communications Director. He likes to have input into foreign policy language.
I got a short security cable this morning about civil unrest in the Republic of Equatorial Kundu, and I had to reach for an atlas. 2 warring tribes?
Well, no, one tribe's warring and the other one's getting killed.
There's a partnership, sir, that can develop between someone and his speechwriter.
But are you asking me out on a date?
No, sir.
Yes.
It happens over time.
I do like Will's character.
I do too.
You know what Jack will be wearing? A saber. 13 buttons on the trousers.
I don't want to know how you know that.
Something's going to blow up with Jack here in this 6 weeks, it sounds like.
He's going away, it seems like.
Yeah.
To the people of Kundu, where horrible violence has broken out.
I'm surprised that the government hasn't taken a position on the people getting killed in, like, sounds like racial strife or something.
Yeah.
Mr. Secretary.
Bailey?
Will Bailey, yes, sir.
You are young.
It's a strange way to greet somebody.
This isn't going to go well. He's going to feel slighted talking to him.
We've been over this long before you got here, and I imagine we'll keep on going over it long after your 3 weeks are done. This president can't write himself a blank check when it comes to foreign policy, especially this president. Apparently, I'm not done with the Baileys.
No, you're not.
Oh, my God. Evil man.
Yeah.
But he had a great voice.
He did.
I throw a rubber ball against the window, that means you come to me.
Really?
Don't I own the Bartlett Bible?
It was sold at auction.
I know, I bought it.
And you donated it to the New Hampshire Historical Society.
You know, a couple of hundred people got killed today in Kundu.
We got the Americans out?
Yeah.
It's just weird that's the only concern is the Americans and not the people actually dying.
Yeah.
Ask Bob Slattery to come over here.
Yes, sir.
CJ, Danny wanted to see you for a second.
No way.
Well,
Stop trying to get us together, okay? If I wanted Danny, I could have him. If I help you find the cricket player, you'll consider it a favor and not the White House cooperating with your story?
I would never think the White House is cooperating with me.
What is it you do exactly to have me? Is there anything else?
They've always had great chemistry.
Maybe they should just get married at some point.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Tension there.
How many are dead right now?
We have no way of knowing.
Estimate.
Could be as many as 5,000.
Holy wow. That's insane.
So it's a genocide.
Big time.
I don't want to make noise, but I want to see a force depletion report. Who do we have at the Pentagon who could do this for us?
Jack Reese, Nancy's aide.
Something goes really south here.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is the president going to send U.S. troops in to knock this off? The White House is monitoring the situation very carefully. I can tell.
Are there revised estimates today?
15,000. Sheila?
There's a Bible in Northampton, Massachusetts that Jonathan Edwards used. Let's get that.
Yes, sir.
Chief Justice writes a concurring opinion. Guilty
poetry,
or not guilty. Past convictions frustrate, and I'm worried about the Chief Justice.
I'm worried about the White House making that suggestion.
Yeah, you got to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
Will, the idea isn't going to walk in here, announce itself as being important, and take a place on the top of the pile.
Yeah.
This is from the Congressional Research Service. It's an old Bartlett speech on foreign policy.
Will's going to find something significant.
He is, yeah. Look, yeah. Yeah.
I like his diligence a lot.
I do too.
He fits in well on that angle. His diligence is really good.
Okay, but CJ this morning put the body count at 15,000.
You're talking about Kundu? That's what the hell this is about?
We're talking about everything.
This isn't what I meant by drafting new language.
What did you mean?
Making the old language sound better.
Will's idealism is taking a slap in the face here.
Yeah.
He'd do a radio address proposing free liposuction to every child of woman born if you wrote it for him.
He does have a little bit of like Sam's idealism, like boyish idealism.
He does. He reminds
the age helps.
He reminds me of Jimmy Stewart, like a young Jimmy Stewart.
Kind of, yeah.
This, sir, is the John Edwards Bible. The First Lady has to hold this in her hand. This one's going to take the First Lady, the Chief Justice, and the Second Circuit Court of Appeals.
They're making too big of a deal with this Bible.
Right, yeah.
Just grab a Bible.
Obviously, it just ends up with one out of a hotel.
Magnificently so when we realize we're talking about a guy who's never led an army.
Hey, the guy is the presidency. It's not 1,000. We saw a force depletion report. It's 150.
You saw a force depletion report.
The number's inflated all to hell. It's 150, not 1,000.
And that's acceptable to you in Kundu?
He means that they're black foreigners, is what he means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's the problem.
He's being gross.
A new doctrine for a new century based not just on our interests, but on our values across the world. Why is a Kundunese life worth less to me than an American life?
I don't know, sir, but it is.
Will does have some stones, doesn't he?
Yeah, big time. Did they say if his dad is passed? Is his dad still around?
I'm not sure if he's still around or not.
Do you like this perfume?
She made a move.
Yeah.
I think she's messing with him.
I think
to show like
there's no way, yeah.
Right? Because he's like, what would you do to get me? I think this is it.
I'd do that.
Oh, she's gonna walk away.
Gotcha, Danny.
I didn't think she was like. I knew she was being coy with it, but I didn't think she was like just straight playing him.
Yeah.
Intelligence reports are putting it closer to 25,000.
It'd be weird if I just walked around with a military dress saber.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely in love with Donna.
I know. It's like
they're really going there.
Why are they going this route?
What's the CIA know that I should know?
Neighbors are swapping family members.
I don't get what that means.
I got Jack Reese in some trouble.
So Hutchison knows I've seen forced depletion.
Yeah.
Why is a Kundanese life worth less to me than an American life? And he said, I don't know, sir, but it is.
That got to him.
It should.
Yeah, it should. Because it is true. It's not Will's place to say, but it's true.
No.
But Jack's been reassigned.
To where?
Aviano. He said he was asked to do something for somebody. It can only be Nancy, Leo, or the president.
It means they're making people in the same house and the promise their lives will be spared.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that like the show runs the gamut, this whole thing where like humans can be capable of some of the most amazing accomplishments on Earth, and then they can be capable of doing something so awful like that. You know, it's
they just shut the. And I think that's everything right there, right? This horrible thing is happening. This is the place that can do something about it. They've already been told they can do something about it, that it would work. And when Josh sees it, he shuts off the TV. You know what I mean? Put it out of mind, right?
Yeah.
Which is I think is kind of a metaphor for how everybody's treating it.
It's
You know
awful.
what I mean, yeah, no, it is awful.
And I made the comment earlier, like, look, I'm a little young, and obviously, you know, America is guilty of this. Ignore this aspect of the world, kind
absolutely.
of thing. And the extent of my knowledge on this is I watched the Coney 2012 presentation when I was in middle school or high school, whatever it was, you know, and yeah, it got me fired up as a kid, you know.
Sure.
And obviously, I was into it for as long as it lasted, and then it went away. Obviously, there was deeper reasons why it went away. The guy who was running it had issues. But yeah, it's always been something in my mind that we've heard about. The Rwanda situation, when that movie came out,
Right,
that was a
yeah.
big deal. I don't understand. I can't fathom why these atrocities are still happening in 2024 and 2000 in this modern world. You know, it's just it's horrible. It's awful.
It's economics.
It's of course it is, right?
You know?
It's an extremely poor country.
Yeah, it's a continent. The whole continent's poor, except for a few spots like South Africa,
That has its own set of issues.
Right. Yeah. It's historically had its own set of issues, but they've addressed Africa before on the show when it was the AIDS outbreak.
Yeah.
They did a really sobering episode, and I can't remember which character it was. It's been so many episodes since we saw it. It was pretty early in the run, where they said, you know, if the same horrors were happening in Europe that are happening in Africa, we'd send in the military, you know, to try to stop and to curb these issues. But because it's Africa and there's so many aspects to it, it's economic, it's also racial, as Leo was really pointing out to the Secretary of State that he was talking to, or was it Defense? It might have been Defense. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I don't want these people to die for Kundu, and he's like, what do you mean for Kundu? It's not worth it in Kundu. Oh, I think I do know what it means. He was completely talking about it being a race issue.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it was, and that's why Leo was so upset. But the frustrating thing about it is, at least to this point, everything's being thrown in everybody's faces, including by Will, who really did show some stones there. I'm not convinced that any of it's going to have any impact. You know what I mean? It's like, what's it going to take? Laying a body of a dead kid right in front of you before you say maybe we shouldn't let this happen.
In many ways, it was right there in front of Josh.
Yeah, it was right there in front of Josh.
Turned the TV off on the body of a child.
Right, and that's how the episode ended.
It's so awful. Like you see these pictures, you see these images, and it's like, guys,
it's the world we live in.
I mean, and look, we're two guys on a couch. We can't solve this. You guys watch this, you can't solve this.
Yeah, but I was like when the Sudanese refugees were drowning, crossing the Mediterranean, Syrian refugees We're drowning. What changed? Absolutely nothing. The news shows it. We say too bad, and that's it. This is a really good show for kind of showing, as sort of a mirror to our indifference. Truly, as people.
And it's crazy too, because we have folks worked up on the internet now with atrocities happening in certain parts of the world. Sure. I don't want to say anything just because it's so politicized, but it's crazy to think that we don't really talk about this. I hate to say it, but it's almost like it's popular for a while and then it goes away.
Yeah, there's a lot of trends. There's a lot of ribbon wearing, and a lot of performative outrage without a lot of action. And then again, I don't know. I don't even know what people's stomachs would be for what it would take to fix it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Everything comes.
We can't.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And are people willing to pay it? And obviously, sometimes the answer is no.
Yeah.
But it's a really good show for kind of showing the uglier side of politics
and humanity. That matters.
Yeah, and humanity. But certainly from the political angle of this horrible things happening, what's it going to take to get us to do anything about it, or are we just not because of political reasons, political expediency?
It's brilliant. This subject comes up during the inauguration too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
a new dawn.
And we start the episode talking about the parties they're going to go to that night. It's a ball. Have fun. Oh, well, in the meantime, thousands of people are being murdered because of I'm assuming either religious. I didn't catch the groups. I'm unfamiliar with the groups, even if they're real or fictional. But I'm assuming either racial ethnic or religious differences as why this is happening.
Yeah, the accountability that Aaron Sorkin brings to the show is top notch.
Yeah, this is really good, and I'm really glad that we had Will here to say to the president what he did, because it made him think about it. He was still thinking about it later.
It's always the people on the outside. It's the same with Donna to the first lady,
right?
Episode, it's great.
And I think based on what we heard, we didn't get names really at the beginning. We were talking about Jack Reese at the inauguration 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Donna's going to blow up here, and I kind of got the sense of that there. I'm assuming in part 2.
Is she being unreasonable?
The thing is, yeah, because she doesn't know. I mean, we don't exactly know what Jack Reese said to her.
Yeah.
But from what it sounds like, he's being, he felt like he was being punished for something that he did for one of his superiors. Mm-hmm. But Josh said it himself. It's military politics.
Yeah.
It's a thing that happens. He doesn't have a say. He doesn't even know. He's not in the situation.
Quite literally, they say jump, you say
yeah, that's... right. But I mean, Josh's job is domestic policy.
Yeah,
he doesn't do foreign policy. So I'm not sure what she was expecting out of Josh.
Yeah,
Josh has to say what he has to say. The Pentagon's sending your military boyfriend somewhere else. I feel like that's over. What are you going to do? Run to the president and tell him to undo it? He's not going to do that.
No. That's a good way to get yourself out of a job there.
It's just not going to happen. So you can understand Donna being frustrated. At the same time, there's really no one to take it out on.
Yeah. It's how it goes.
Yeah, it's how it goes. You wish it wasn't the case, but only thing I'm hoping in the part 2, because Leo and Josh were talking about it, is Donna doesn't do something to escalate the problem.
Yeah,
because I kind of got the sense that she does.
It's either that or she gets real close to it.
Yeah, sure.
She rides that line, so we'll see.
Right. All right, guys. Really, really, really good opening to this 2-parter here. I'm very much looking forward to the second part. We'll catch you on the next one, guys.
See ya.